This is David Hakan with KC Cafe Radio at the Gypsy Wagon Studios in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm here with Vanessa Lively, who is one of the artists that showcase their music at Folk Alliance conferences. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me.
Glad we could make this work.
Me too.
Tell us about when you first learned that your tours and shows would be canceled because of the pandemic.
So it all happened right around the time that they announced they were going to cancel South by Southwest here in Austin. And then everything just right on the heels was like a ripple effect, and everything was closed. And so I had one show that was during the South by time. I actually didn't have a huge South by busy calendar, but on the heels of that, I had, another recording and another show, then also had a season that was about to start where I lead music circles for a nonprofit that I started called Home Street Music. And that was also canceled and closed. And we had our first big paid gig during South by. Home Street had our first, the library had hired us to come and play for this outdoor event that they were hosting. And, we were excited, and the folks in our program were so excited. So yeah, it was rough. And I also had a show in Charlottesville that was canceled with Devin Sproul. And I was very much looking to go, just to get to go see one of my best friends and play some songs together. So it was really sad, for sure.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your background in music growing up.
Yeah, I mostly was drawn into singing. My mother loved music and would sing very loudly along with all the songs. And so she and I sang a lot. And we were both just big singers and jammed to music loudly, in the car and stuff like that. She played some guitar and would sing Beatles songs and things like that on the guitar. So that was really my exposure. Beyond that, I had a little tiny bit of piano lessons at the age of 3 by a Catholic nun. And I think that was it for me when it came to my music education. And it wasn't until I was about 18 that I started learning my first guitar chords. So I was fairly late to the guitar and definitely songwriting game. I didn't start writing songs until I was in my young 20s.
Cool. Well, tell us a little about the song that you're going to play for us. What was the spark for that one?
Yeah, so I'm in a songwriting group here in Austin that's led by my friend Johan Wagner, and it's called Translytic Song Society. And so we use this songwriting poetry approach that's called translytic, and you take a poem that's in a different language that you don't know, and then you translate it by just looking at a word, and then the first word that pops in your head, you have to write it down. And you do drafts and drafts of this kind of auto-responding to the page. And I really try not to mess with it too much because I love the kind of obscure nature of it, where I don't even really know exactly what I'm writing, but I love the way it feels. And so I've really kind of taken a different approach than some, where I try to keep as close to the original guttural response as I can. And then, of course, I bring in my musician artist self to put it into form, but I try not to do too much. So yeah, this was my January translytic for January 2020.
Let's hear that song.
It's called Golden Treasure. I am a muse, rising sweetly, growing beside the daughters of love. Freedom flies around me like geese, like a dove, no longer buried in the sand. I send out my branches for the birds to land. See the goose and gander, I release my fear and anger. I quell my rage with the golden treasure. It scatters out like doves in the spring. I let the raven tell my fortune. I hear them call and sing. I drink some wine while the earth's on fire. Write a song as the hail comes down. Take my hand and dine here. I will bring you rose and wine, dear. Providence will be my home. All the doves will carry my song. I won't hide deep in the sand. I'll speak the truth and ride on the wind. I quell my rage with the golden treasure. It scatters out like doves in the spring. I let the raven tell my fortune. I hear them call and sing. I quell my rage with the golden treasure. It scatters out like doves in the spring. I let the raven tell my fortune. I hear them call and sing.
Oh, I love the visuals in that song.
Thank you. And what's funny is as I was singing it, I caught a glimpse of this painting that's in front of me, and I titled it Golden Treasure. I just finished that a couple weeks ago in my new home, so that was kind of special because I've never sang Golden Treasure to the painting. So hopefully all the song vibes went into the painting now.
Very cool. So tell us about your new project you're working on.
Well, so far it's just a thought, I'd say, but I have been writing a lot, over the past few years. I've been writing. I had, after my last full-length record came out, that was in 2014, and it was recorded in 2013 when I was pregnant with my first child. And, after having basically two babies kind of right on top of the other, I just was finding myself in a void of not really writing a whole lot. And then once I opened back up the writing flow, which was in about 2016, 17, somewhere around there is when I started to kind of grease those wheels again. I was spending a couple of years just singing lullabies, and that was like my musical outlet. But then I started writing, and I actually found that it's like my voice came out differently because I'd spent 2 years in a hiatus, like singing lullabies quietly in a bedroom. And so it was as if my songwriting style just changed a little bit. I sang kind of in a higher register than I had before, had more hushed moments. And so I've got this collection of songs that's been spanning 2016 to now, so about 4 years of writing translytic songs, writing retreats. And I've just started thinking recently that I'd really love to just get in a studio and put them all together as a collection of songs. I've been doing singles, and so I've put out 2 singles officially kind of on, Spotify and everywhere. And then I did 2 that have only been put out on, or maybe it's just 1, on Bandcamp. No, 2. 2 on Bandcamp that haven't made it out to the rest of the world. But I'm just starting to really dream about maybe this year starting a full-length record again, which I think would feel exciting. Yeah.
And you have time.
I've got some time, in between when I'm raising my children at home 24/7, I've got time. No, it's been kind of cool to find ways to like work around, being a mom and still really fighting to claim my identity as an artist and a songwriter. And for me, it's just such a lifeline. And so I have been really prioritizing making the time to do that, and really can't wait till I can get back out and like play shows for people. But I'm grateful for things like Facebook live stream and such to still stay connected,
Sure. So would you play another song for us?
Yeah, absolutely. This one is called A Time of Peace. And it was I guess you could call it a commission or a songwriting project, but I was in a regular gig. I had a regular gig at as a musician in a church band. St. David's Episcopal Church downtown was hiring what they wanted, real musicians, like working active artists and songwriters to form this band to be really experimental. So it was an incredibly fun project. And it just like kind of kept me on my toes. It was so awesome. And so it was myself and Nicolette Good is another songwriter that was in this band. And one day they asked me to write a song around a Bible verse. And so I just read the Bible verse and then I went and wrote this song just right immediately. So this is a time of peace. If you're hungry now, you will be filled. If you're weeping now, you will be thrilled. The light that's within you will guide you and bring you, and you'll leave behind the soil tilled. Bring on the seeds, the ground is ready for this love. Bring out the workers, let the rain fall from above. Let down your hair, laughter and song will fill the air. The time of peace has come, the wars have all been won. If a person knocks you down, be still. Turn the other way, say I love you still. They'll learn from your peaceful way of treating all people, and you'll leave behind the soil tilled. Bring on the seeds, the ground is ready for this love. Bring out the workers, let the rain fall from above. Let down your hair, laughter and song will fill the air. The time of peace has come, the wars have all been won.
Oh, I love that one.
Thank you. That's one I actually rarely play, and I kind of brought it out of it's like I wrote it, sang it that Sunday, and then forgot about it. And then I found myself at a piano and was like, I wonder if I could figure out that one song that I wrote on guitar and played on the piano, and just started to play it like just for fun. And that was, that was during the COVID stuff. And then I just rekindled my affection for it, I think. I just was like, this is a calming song to sing, especially when our world feels like it's in upheaval,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would love to hear that song. It has a real healing quality to it.
Thank you. And that's what I found just playing it on the piano. Like, my kids would be just sort of running around, and I'd just open the doors and play it on the piano and sing it out. And I was like, this is a calming, for me, it feels calming to sing it. And but thank you. I'm glad I found that one back.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Again, this is David Hakan with Vanessa Lively.